I've decided today I'm going to move some of these onion sets on. You've seen them quite a few times over the last weeks, but they're getting to be a really good size now. We've got some nice big shoots on top, but more importantly we've got quite a lot of roots. When you grow them in these cells, with them being so small, the roots are going to go down and they're going to start and get a little bit dense in your cells. But other than that, they'll also try and grow up if there's nowhere else to go. If you look at a couple of these cells, you can see some of the roots are trying to grow upwards. And we don't want the roots growing on top. So because they started doing that, I've decided to move some on. And I'm only putting them in containers, because this year we're just doing container onions. So the idea is to pick out the biggest ones that we've got, move them on, and then maybe we can leave a few of these smaller ones a little bit longer, because these shoots aren't as big and there's no roots growing out top of compost either. So I'm just going to concentrate on the ones that are trying to send roots upwards, and I'm just going to put them in one of these. It's only a small container, and we get these from Poundland. We always drill extra holes in the bottom as well, because you need to have really good drainage. And we've got this compost already prepared, and we've mixed some feeding with it as well, because onions can be quite heavy feeders. So it's best we start off with plenty of nutrition in that compost. But first I'm just going to top it up with a bit of this rough compost, just to save us on that new stuff. And thank you very much to Josie Bridges for making a donation to the channel. I really appreciate that, Josie. It's going to help us buy a few bits and bobs as we go over the next few weeks. So thank you very much for your generosity. So I'm only putting a couple of inches of this rough in bottom. It's really lumpy stuff, but it does help with drainage at the same time. I think that'll be enough. That's why we save all that stuff that we sieve, because we can use it for other purposes. And then I'm just going to top this up with this good compost that's full of feed. And when I do onions, I tend not to compact the compost down, because we want these little bulbs to be able to easily swell when it comes time. And then I'm just going to make it a little bit leveler. You don't have to, it's just what I do. Not pressed it down, I've just evened it out a little bit. Get some of these onions started in this container, and that's where they'll be staying until we harvest. So we've got those onions, and as I said, we're going to take the biggest ones out of here. You can see that that root is already starting to build up. We don't want that. That's a good sized bulb. That one popped out. But that's the one where the roots have started growing upwards, because they've run out of space at the bottom there. And you can just rough that up a little bit just to loosen those roots. I'm just going to redirect that one if possible, or just break it off. If it stays down, that's alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 8 onions in this container. It makes them a little bit more difficult to get out as well if you just leave them. And once again, you can see those roots are now starting to go upwards. I'll sort those out as we plant them. Pretty simple job, once again, just a piece of wood. And we're going to make a nice deep hole and make it wide enough as well to get that in. And then we want to bury it to the same depth as what it is now. So no deeper than what you're taking them out. You can bury a bit at bulb, but we want to make sure we're covering up them roots as well, because now they'll start to go down again. And then just repeat that process. Pretty simple job. We're still leaving the tops of these onions uncovered, as you can see. And they're going in nice and loosely. Once again, that root there, we'll push that downwards now. It'll find its own way then. Very simple job to plant your onion sets, whether it's in containers or outside. Just make an hole, push them in, and that's the end of that job. Another easy job for us Monday morning. That's it, we're all set up. 8 onions, what we're hoping to grow to a medium-sized onion. So we'll get those watered in, and that's another job sorted out. So still got quite a lot of onions left, but we'll just repeat that process and get as many containers filled up as we can. And that's all as onions then set up for the season. We will be planting some more spring onions though. You can keep doing those all year long. Just sow fresh seeds every 2 weeks, same as you would lettuce. And then between now and winter, you'll never run out of spring onions or fresh salad. And we've still got quite a bit of fresh salad there that we've grown that we haven't moved on yet. But we'll be doing that at some point this week. We've already got a container growing behind us. As you'll have seen before, and once again, it's putting on some good size. Same sort of container, and we're doing this for cut and come again lettuce. And we've had a bit more advancement on that spinach as well. All the spinach has now got true leaves, so that's well on its way. So we've now got a mixture of spring onions, fresh lettuce and spinach on the way, which is a very good start this early in year. So I'll work on the rest of those onion sets, and then we're going to start and sow some more tomatoes. But this time we'll be sowing dwarf cherry tomatoes. And the ones I'm going to be doing this year are called Garden Pearl. We did loads of these last year. Very tiny little seeds in there. And we put some in these little caravan wash bowls and they grew perfectly fine. And we also put some in these little hanging baskets that we get from Poundland. They're only 12 inches across top, and we had nice little compact cherry tomato plants growing in them. So once again, that worked really well. And we did get quite a few cherry tomatoes between the containers and the baskets that we did. So that's probably going to be his next job. Start off the cherry tomatoes that will go along with the taller tomato plants that we're doing, which we're also putting in containers, but just larger ones. And then next month, we'll do the exact same thing with cucumbers. So plenty to come over the next few weeks. If you're interested in seeing what else we're going to be doing over the next few weeks, then please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you then. You take care.